Hey guys, welcome back to the shed. Today I've got a review of the Katsu trim router. So just a bit of context as to why I bought this. I have the Trend T4 already, and this is a brilliant router. At the time I bought this, I think it was £110. And I was using it under a router table, but the springs on it just make it really difficult. So I went on Amazon and I wanted something that wasn't too expensive because I didn't want to buy a whole new router when I already had one that I'd spent a fair bit of money on. So I came across this. This is a Katsu trim router and it only cost me about £33. So it's cheap, but surprisingly it is good quality. Being that it's a trim router, it actually only comes with this fixed base that works by this little cog gear and then like a pinion system, and you just rotate this up and down. Let me show you a better way, like this. And that works fine. I was a bit sceptical. Some people said you know, it was falling out and it didn't mesh up properly, but my unit has worked really well and I was quite pleased. You can buy a plunge base, but they sell that separately. They have a offset base and a circle cutting jig base. The router is 6 speed, so 1, and it clicks all the way through till 6, and it's lowest 10,000 revolutions per minute up to 30,000. That's with no load on it. In my opinion, I wouldn't go very low. It started to struggle on 1 and 2 through some plywood, some 3/4 inch. So keep it on a high setting, but you know, if you find the use for the low setting and it's working, I don't see why not. With the router on the base model, they give you 3 accessories. The first one is this trim fitting, and it just slides up in there and you screw that on like that, and it will run alongside any piece of work that you want. The second attachment that comes with it is this straight edge piece that slides in much the same way, and you just tighten it up and then it's ready to go along any piece of work that you need. I have only used this once. It is okay. It's not the best one that's ever come with a router that I've used, but for 30 quid I think it's pretty good for light work. Now the last thing that comes with it is this dust cover that just fits over the front and clips on. It's quite fiddly, but once you get it on, it just comes with this little screw and it just clips over the top. Let me lock that in. Clips over the top like that, and you can still see your workpiece and your bit. If you're doing freehand, you'll want to see, and you just have to screw it in at the side. It doesn't quite line up, so you have to use 2 hands. So if I and there you go. In my opinion, I really wouldn't use one of these if you were doing, you know, freehand routing, because if you put a Hoover attachment on this, it's in the way a bit. But I suppose if you're running this against a guide or anything like that, the Hoover's good. But personally, I don't use it. Just quickly, it is pretty standard, but they do give you a spanner to change the bits out. And this is one point about this that I don't like, is this little button here is the stopper for the rotation, but it just feels weak, and I feel like if you force it a bit, if the nut isn't coming off the collet, I feel like it'd just break. So that is one point about this router that sort of lets it down. I haven't had a problem with it at the moment, but I feel over time it would definitely snap if you forced it too hard. So I suggest using 2 spanners and getting that off. That's how I've been doing it, just because it doesn't feel that sturdy. So I guess the only thing to do now is just to show you it in action. I've got the straight cutter on there to support against this piece of wood I've got, and I'm just going to cut a straight groove and then maybe round over the edge. and that should give you a good idea of what it sounds like and how it cuts. I've only got some cheap bits in there from Screwfix. For routers like this, I wouldn't recommend going out and spending loads of money. It will make a bit of difference, but if you're just a hobbyist like me, I think cheap ones that come in boxes are just fine. I thought I'd just quickly show you when it's on the different speeds. So I'll start at 1 and each click will be through till power 6. So that gives you an idea of the different speeds. You can definitely hear it getting faster. Like I said, I keep it on the highest. So as you can hear, it does sort of get overpowered by just a bit of plywood. I haven't got the best bit in it, but it was throwing out a lot of dust and a lot of smoke. So now I've just got a little round over cutter in the router. I'm just going to show you that going down the edge. I've already tested it to make sure the bit was okay, but I'll just show you as that goes. So as you can see here, rounded over nice. Not the best cut, but again I haven't got the greatest bits, but the router is more than powerful enough to do what it needs to do. One quick thing I did want to say about this router is when I bought it I didn't expect much at all. I expected a plastic, really cheap tool from some Chinese company that didn't really go together very well, but this router is very well built. It's all metal besides this top bit, but most routers have this plastic top bit. But I was quite surprised at how good the build quality is. Some of the accessories are bad, but the main router body is really sturdy. There's no play whatsoever, and I was just really pleased with how well it's built. So I guess the question is now, would I recommend this to someone else? If you are just a hobbyist and you're looking for something cheap and you don't have the money to get, a better one, this is perfect. Only costing £30 on Amazon, link in the description by the way. The perfect router. It's powerful, it takes all your bits, it is fixed base but has the option of a plunge base. They give you some attachments and it's variable speed. So yeah, I would recommend this to someone. Now if you do have a bit of money and want something for a router table, because I'm going to mount this upside down for a router table in the future, if you have more money I would go out and buy something like a DeWalt. They have a really nice fixed base router, and I think it's about 130 to 170 if you go through the different models. So I'd probably recommend doing that, but for one of the cheapest routers on Amazon, I think the only other one was £10 cheaper, but it didn't look anywhere near as sturdy as this. So I'll leave a link in the description. I would recommend this to you. Thanks for watching this short review video. Links will be in the description. Please like and subscribe.